What's up, everyone? It's me, Evan, and welcome back to another video from How to FPL. This week, we will be discussing Game Week 30, and as you can see, my partner in crime, Jarrett, happens to be unavailable for the video this week. He decided that his time would be better spent partying with Jeffrey Epstein's ghost and Alan Dershowitz off somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. So, with that being said, let's dive in for the video this week. It'll be a little bit shorter, but we'll get through it. So, this is my team. I had a good week. I had 105 points. Robertson, killer move. Picked him up a couple weeks ago, and he's given me nothing but good returns since then. All of my defense did well, actually, including Ramsdale, White. Unfortunately, Arsenal couldn't pull off 2 clean sheets in a row. I was really hoping for a 0-0 with the Arsenal-Liverpool game, but that's okay. Doherty and Kulusevski both pulled through as well. Those were my 2 transfers in this week. I took out Joe Willock and Reece James to bring in Doherty and Kulusevski, and the transfers ended up working out brilliantly, and I was a little bit nervous about that, so that's good. Salah captain, could have been better. I could have gone with Kane or been like Magnus Carlsen and captained Robertson, but I think Salah was a safe pick, especially considering his high ownership this week, and I'm happy with where I sit in points. I got a solid green arrow from 34k to 28k, and you know what? We'll take it. So moving on, let's get into this week's clean sheet odds. We have Tottenham sitting at the highest odds for this week at a 36% chance, which is pretty low compared to some of the percentages that we've seen in past weeks, double game weeks. Just this past week, Liverpool had well over a 50% chance of getting a clean sheet. In that game week, here we only see a 36% chance is the highest, and it's Hugo Lloris, who, it's Hugo Lloris. I don't think that much more needs to be said about this image. But yeah, so not a great week to load up on defensive assets. But if you do, then people are going to be looking at people like Doherty. Leicester defenders are actually... I know there are a couple defenders in people's sites this week, maybe Pereira. Wolves, not really sure how I feel about them. Again, Arsenal, a lot of people doubling up on Arsenal defense this week, so whether they get a clean sheet or not against Villa will probably be a big determinant in red versus green arrows for some people this week. And yeah, I don't think anyone should really be considering Leeds defenders or Brentford defenders. But with all that being said, let's move on to the captain poll. Kane leaves it by a lot. He leads by a whopping margin of, 46? Looks like a 46% margin over Son, who could be a decent option. But again, I think that if you have Kane, it's probably a risk not to captain him. But if you just have Son for this week, for one, you might want to look into just bringing in Kane somehow, some way. But aside from that, Son is a perfectly viable captain option for this game week, and I don't think that many other people are really worth considering. Goal scorers. Obviously, Kane and Son both have a 100% chance of scoring. Bamford has great hair. Lacazette only gets assists. Saka's adorable. Rafinha will disappoint again. Tony will say fuck Brentford again and perhaps get benched. And Kulusevski will say gimme. All right. And finally, here's my team for the coming week. We're looking at about 7 players, assuming that all of these starters actually play in their games, which is fairly likely, but again, you never know. People like Kilman, he's been benched a couple times in recent weeks. Kulusevski, we're not even entirely sure how nailed he is, although he seems pretty well nailed at times. Same with someone like Doherty. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I guess my thought process for this week is that the only transfer that I would make would be getting rid of one of my 2 Southampton strikers in order to bring in somebody who has a decent fixture this week, like probably Tony. But again, Tony has horrible fixtures from this week onward. Whereas both of the Southampton strikers, it looks like we'll have a double game week coming up in game week 33. So it no longer seems like the greatest move in the world to ditch them right now. And beyond all that, I just think that the information that I will gain from saving this transfer another week from rolling transfer will be much more valuable than whatever points I could gain from bringing in someone like Tony this week. I think it would be a different story if I had a mid that I really needed to get rid of or wanted to get rid of. Like if instead of Salah I had, I don't even know. I might think of bringing in Harvey Barnes or a midfielder, but because of the forward situation in the game right now, for me, I'm really not that worried about missing out on other forwards that others have that I don't. So yeah, I've gone with Kane captain. I'm going with Saka vice captain just in case of any game cancellations or whatnot, but it seems like those are more or less behind us, knock on wood, this season. So yeah, that's about all I got. I'm looking forward to see how things shape up over the coming weeks. We're going to have a lot of double game weeks coming up, a lot of chips being rolled out. I've still got my free hit. I've still got my bench boost. So it will definitely be an exciting end to this season. Jarrett and I are neck and neck coming into the final stretch. And we miss him this week, but he will certainly be back for you guys next week with more quality banter and commentary. So yeah, that's it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Insta, on Twitter. Give us a thumbs up. It helps us out. You know, it doesn't hurt to do it. Just do it. You know you want to. How to FPL. We'll be live tweeting games. And yeah, again, take care, guys. And we will see you next week.